Hello, my name is Ethan and welcome back to another episode of Path of Exile, Delirium League. In this episode I'm going to do a cluster jewel episode to explain the cluster jewels for small, medium, and large for how we're going to use them in the build. So first I would like to start off by saying welcome to the video, good morning, how you guys doing? It's 8:40 in the morning, haven't had my mini wheats, but I want to get this video out because there's a lot of questions about cluster jewels. So this is PoE so we'll start with this, but this is small, medium, large, and then I also have a trade up. So what I'm going to show first is don't worry about what's good yet, okay? So just understand that for the small cluster, all you have to do is look at the small cluster, you go for the one mod you want, so like life, chaos res, chance to block spell damage, things like that look pretty good, right? Medium, we have increased effect of non-curse auras, and minions have increased life. So that's it. And then this one, we have minions deal damage for the large. So that's all we have to do. And now I'll explain. So when you actually want a cluster jewel, you can click on the notable and it'll see your small cluster under life. It shows you all the notables you can go for. And now basically, instead of going through every single freaking notable here, I'm just going to show you a few ones that are like, wow, wall of muscle, increased life, and flat increased strength. Wow. There's like a lot of really good. So blessed is really good. It's 13% chaos res, 6% life. Seems really good to me. Look at this. 20 life, 4% chance to block attack damage, 20% chance to gain an endurance charge when you block. The block ones are pretty cool, right? Okay. Then the other thing was chaos res. I took anti-venom because unaffected by poison and 17% chaos res is just what I want. Yeah, seemed really good to me. You can also go chance to block spell, and then there's all these. So this is just for smalls, right? Small's insane. There's a million things you want to do. When you look at medium, somebody pointed out the non-curse auras from skills, and there's two that are really good for our build. Vengeful Commander gives us 30% increased hatred aura effect, which is a lot of damage. And the other one is... was it Precise Commander. You and nearby allies have 50% increased critical strike chance. You and nearby allies have 15% critical strike multiplier. I would now like to go back and explain one thing. When you're looking for small cluster jewels, you can go for two passive skills. It doesn't have to have three. So the smaller might be better because you can get to the notable quicker. And then with the medium, you can do 4 and you can get to your notables really quickly. On the small one, you can only have 1 notable. On the medium one, I think you can have 1 notable and a jewel socket, because you have to have a jewel socket too on the small. Or no. And then the large, this is where you can have up to 3 notables and 2 jewel sockets, and it's like really crazy. But so this is where I show you guys the truth about our minion large jewel. So renewal, I need to go through these. So renewal, minions have 10% chance to deal double damage while they're on full life. This doesn't work with zombies. Okay, next. So this is okay. 6% of Fizz's extra fire is fine. 20% chance to ignite and 20% increased damage against ignited enemies. That seems cool, I guess. Minions have a 20% chance to impale on hit is pretty good. It's like pretty big buff of damage. This one of 15% damage is not great because we don't spawn minions because we're using zombies. Skeletal Atrophy is for skeletons. This Vicious Bite is the best one of them all. This is the one I recommend to use. So I'll show you something I did. It's hilarious. Okay, Primordial Bond is for golems, and Feasting Fiends isn't really that good. Like, it's okay, it's not great. So now I'll point out that the order of OP is Vicious Bite, Rotten Claws, and Feasting Fiends. Those are the 3 I recommend in that order, but Vicious Bite is the best, and I only recommend Vicious Bite, which I'll show you now what I did. So in the game, I actually have these. Okay, so watch this. So in the mediums, I forgot to mention, actually, there was the Minion Life. Wait. I only went to auras. Here we have Minion Life notables, and I recommend Dread March because that amount of stats is ridiculous for... It's ridiculous, dude. Anyways, Hulking Corpses doesn't seem that good. Renewal, it doesn't work, like I said. Blessed Rebirth, well, it's only 20% life. Then this is not useful because our shit shouldn't die. Feasting Fiends again, and Bodyguards is only 10% life. Minion regen's really nice on this, so now I'll show you what I've done. Okay, so in the game, I found out that if you go for an 8-point large jewel instead of the really big one, then your pathing is kind of short, and you can do this where you get a 5-socket large that gets you Vicious Bite and 2 jewel sockets, and then the 2 jewel sockets opens you up to having more stuff. And so I was able to get my small my small passive skill, then my Dread March, boom, jewel socket into Chaos Res, and Anti-Venom. And we have this. I was doing the math at 6 points for effectively this area down to Indomitable Army, and it's better because we get 20% movement speed and 20% Chaos Res. And then you get more life because it also has the travel node here. This is more life than we would have got in the other build in going down to here. This is only 37%. This is way more, obviously. It's like 22 and 25. Yeah, it's way more. It's insane. And then you get the extra jewel sockets still for the small, and the smalls are just insane. Because, like, these jewels on their own, independent, like a 5-socket here is 80, it was like 10% more damage for this Vicious Bite, and it's 5 sockets. It's technically like it's like 19. It's a lot, technically, overall, but if you're going to use cluster jewels at all, you should use them a lot. Like, the fact that you're committing 3 here means that you should get your benefit here, and because I commit 5 here, I get my benefit, and then yeah, they're gonna be so insane later. You just want your whole skill tree to be cluster jewels, basically, is what I'm noticing. They're like really insane, dude, but only some of the points are good. Like if we just repeat this but change the smalls over here, it's gonna be insane. And then I can just take out like this, I don't know, maybe even this, dude. It's all really interesting. But yeah, I was thinking about taking out the mediums, and it just didn't seem worth it to path down to this instead of using these. If I was going to use this, and it's like, well, if I'm using this, I mean, if I want to use the Chaos Res, then cluster jewels are worth it, and this is pretty good, and this is pretty good. So I was like, damn, cluster jewels are pretty good. So now let's show people how to get their own cluster jewels. So I've explained you can have 3 notables and 2 jewels on a large. You can have one or 2 mods on a 1 or 2 notables on a medium. I think 1, maybe 2 if you go bigger, and then a jewel socket, and then I go 1 notable on the small, and I recommend 2, 4, and 6 passives. So now I'll show you my crazy. This is how you do searches for this shit. So you could search Vicious Bite, and this will come up, and you click it. On this one, you search added small passive skills grant, and then you can click this thing, and it has a list. That's gonna help a lot of people, dude. So you can find, this is the enchant. So at the top of in the game, at the top of the item, there's the add 8 passive skills. You have that one. That's an enchant. I have that too. I'll show you. And then there's the added passive small passive skills grant, and you select your thing on that page. So yeah, grant the image and added adds 8 passive skills, and they're both enchants. And then for the jewel sockets, you would type this in, and then you would click 2 for the large. This is specifically the large, and I searched large. And then when you search, just to show what's happened, I got this for like 80C, and now people are doing crazy shit with it. And I bet they don't work like mine, where mine is really, really good. These are pretty good. If you want that stuff. Raise and pillage. Yeah, it's interesting. But this is what I'm basically getting at. This is how you search them. This is going to help a lot of people, I think, just seeing the ways to search, because this is then interchangeable for every single one you do. So whatever jewel you look for, let's say you look for small, change this to small. Change the passive skill you're looking for to the one you want, like Wall of Muscle, or Blessed, or the Chaos Res one, Anti-Venom. Yeah. And then change the passive skills to 2. When you're doing a small, change the jewel socket, get rid of jewel sockets by doing this, and then change the passive skill grant probably to life or chaos res based on the small that you pick. So that's how you would do small. Medium, you would change the trade to medium, change the skill to the one you're looking for, which would probably be Dread March. Then, or you go for the hatred or the precise commander. People seem to want to go Vengeful Commander or Precise Commander for damage. And then, yeah, you would have 1 jewel socket instead of 2 on a medium, and you'd only have 4. There you go. I think that's everything for what I recommend for now. I haven't looked at the uniques much, except for voices giving you 3 jewel sockets. So basically, imagine we came here, and imagine I came out with 3, and then you skip this. So currently we're using this just to get 2 jewel sockets, and honestly, the voices seems really good. Just get 3 jewel sockets, take 3 Dread Marches, get 3 small. Yeah, it's kind of expensive. It's like 1.5x, but it seems like this is a waste, and that one's better. Yeah, but I don't know yet. It's there's also the part about this has extra damage on the travel. We got the Vicious Bite, which is actually insane, and when would we get this otherwise? Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Alright, so in editing I realized like after the fact that I had to go back and fix something. So this is recorded after I already recorded my ending, but now we're gonna add this in here. So it's pretty important. So when you get these jewels, right? If you can't buy these jewels because they're hard to get the ones we're looking for, because I make this video telling people all the good ones, right, that everyone didn't want me to do, like showing people this is gonna ruin it. The fact that this is just from my streaming, it went from 80C to 3 to 9x. It's over, boys. Rest in pepperonis. So the other thing is the way this works is if you're gonna look for them yourself, look at the levels. You can see the level for each of the different tiers. So 78 is a tier, 73 is a tier, 68 is a tier, 84 is a tier. So you can look for item level to get the different roles, and that's why there's 5 tiers, and that's why there's different prices and shit. And this is for the added small passives. So it's not that big of a deal when you don't get very many small passives, because you're going for the smaller passive skills like I recommend with the jewels. And then basically you would buy the base, so large cluster jewel with the minion damage, and then you can roll for, as long as it has the item level, you can roll these, and then you just roll them with whatever crafting method you want. And you can probably modify the chance of these things by getting like life. I bet would give you life more, and I bet mana, energy shield armor would give more, and you know, evasion. You got reses, so maybe you run a prismatic. I don't know. I'm sure fossil crafting would have some influence on this stuff. Aberrant might get you the chaos res. Not sure. Either way, I just wanted to add this in here for the people who want to craft these themselves. You would buy the item level cluster jewel you want, and then have the expectation of your tier of mod. The notables are going to be the same, so that doesn't matter. And that's just an added bonus if you're going to max out these jewels. 84 OP. There you go. This needed to be in here because people are going to go, the price of them is insane. How do we get them? And I'm sorry, I needed to add it in. There you go. And then just for fun, I put up this search. So it's enchant, minions deal damage, 8 passive skills. So these are the 2 enchants. So this is the base, and 68 item level, large cluster jewel. Wow, it's so easy. 1C, 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 1C. Okay, and then you look at 84, the highest one, just for fun. I'll add this in here too. Fuck it. Oh my god. There you go, boys. There you go. I didn't leave anything out. Enjoy the video. So yeah, I hope this little video could be helpful, you know. I hope it could lead people to some interesting ideas and thoughts about cluster jewels. Maybe they'll come back to me with like, oh my god, this is what you should do, dude. And then we'll theory craft some more on stream. Either way, I'm probably going to stream now. I'm going to do more of the Atlas probably, and also Blight, and do all that. We have some decent progress. We're up to like 7 watchstones or something, so we're now doing this area, but I don't have any of the maps, and yeah, should probably buy them and then save the time of having to get them. Nice. But either way, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for all the support. Appreciate all the everything. Here we go. Thank you guys for all the support, and thank you to my Patreon and YouTube members who financially support the channel. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye!